Today, I'm talking about why I'm cutting all my debit cards, and you should do that too. Debit card has been part of my banking for a long time, but to call me old time, hardly use a debit card. I don't have a lot of use cases. Anytime I need a cash, I actually go ahead and get it from the bank ahead of time. Even when I was using debit card, was very popular back in the 90s. It used to be ATM card, and then it changed over the years. It became you have Visa cards. So one of the thing about debit card is your monies are taken out from your account right away. That's one thing. It's a good and bad. A lot of merchants, they like it, so that way they can get the access to money instead of going through the credit card. But there's a lot of ups and downs. There's some research I was doing what you should do. A lot of pundits, they talk about you should only use a debit card. It has all the same access as a credit card. There's a lot of things they talk about. I will let you research on that one, but I'm just gonna go through the story, my story, why I'm doing it. That way you may be able to relate it to it, or at least be aware, because every time I tell this story to others, people are like never aware. They said, wow, that's a good story, because I use my debit card all the time. I will talk about it a little bit more once I get to that point. But basically, some of the things I learn about debit card is you don't bill your credit. That's what I learned. Some things I learned. Please verify some of these things. It's not some of the things I read on the internet. One of the things for sure is it doesn't cover out the credit card for travel insurance, and also. When somebody uses your money, you have to notify the bank within certain times, like 24 hours, 36 hours, 2 weeks, 3 months, depending on how much money you're going to get back. Let me just tell you my story, why I'm talking about this. Is I have a debit card and credit card from same bank. I don't want to talk about the bank. It's not specific to any bank, but definitely I have a debit card and credit card from same bank. Anytime I have a bad transaction and credit card, those banks, credit card, they will call you, notify you, and sometimes you put your card on hold until you call them back, and so on, and even in international transactions. So it's funny, every time I travel from the same bank, by the way, as soon as they call me or they find some suspicious activity or whatever they call it, when I'm traveling, I'm trying to buy a train ticket, buy the food, and then they will block my card, and then I have to call them back. And usually they say, oh, you don't have to call them back, but they will want you to call you back. And I have done that every trip I have taken, the last several trips. Last summer when I was traveling, for the spring I was traveling to Rome and London, I had to do same practice over and over. I have to call the bank, and it'll be early in the morning, late at night, or whatever have you. And they'll still pick up the phone and they will fix the thing. They said, okay, these are your charges. So they will let you go. And this is a call. I'm talking about a credit card. But what happened with the debit card, like I said, I don't use debit card, hardly use debit card. I do have it with me, but I'm going to cut it today. But one of the thing is that what happened to my daughter, who had a little money on her account, she works so she can have money for a spring break, the summer. So it was around spring break time in February. You got a call, and she started texting me and said, hey, Dad, can you call the bank, see what's going on? And so I did call the bank, and then I told them, hey, she was at school, said, this is a fraudulent charge, international charge. So they put the charge on hold, and they didn't file the report or anything. I guess they'd let that transaction go through. So that was a $12 something, and we caught that right on time. So definitely, we stopped and we got a new debit card. So she went to the bank. So it took a while for me to find out, and I did not know this for a while, that they never refunded back. I was like, when you call us back, and whenever in the credit card situation, whenever there's a fraudulent charge, which has happened to me just recently, in $100 in one of this card, they said, don't worry, we'll take care of this. But in debit card, her money was taken out. They never put it back. And I was like, what's going on? And it took me a month or so to realize that. So that's one incident happened to her. So little money she had. Next incident, the day she was traveling for a spring break, she said, oh, I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A. I'll give you something. Let me go to Chick-fil-A. So she goes to the Chick-fil-A, uses her card, and it's completely declined. I said, what's going on? She called me and said, hey, something's going on with my card, because I thought I had money. I said, I just told her to come home, let me look at it. And I have access to her bank account. She's still a minor, so I still have access to her bank account. And I looked at it, there was charges, 8 charges for $22 something from some transaction. And we were like, what's going on? When she got home, she said, I did not charge this, and this is none of mine. I don't know what's going on. So right away, we called the bank, and the bank said, we notified you. So apparently they did text night before. They never put that in the hole, and we didn't notice. We're not always paying attention. We didn't notice. They let go to charge that one. Once that went ahead, they charged. Even though they texted and they detected that it may be fraudulent charge, the bank just let it go. Then the next 7 charges, they just let it go as well. See, that wiped out all her money, little money she had. So it was really in bad situation, and I called the bank, and then bank like, oh, we called you and whatever have you. So we filed the claim. A month or so later, both of our claims got declined. I called them back, said, hey, you need to go back and investigate again. This is not correct. Second time they declined, they were saying the charges seems valid because it was from touch and whatever have you. They took the money and the C didn't have the money. That's the main point here, is that even though they realize it's international charge, it may be fraudulent charge, we even told them it's a fraudulent charge, they still let go of that transaction. Once that transaction is gone from your account, on your debit card, the money is gone. Once that money is gone, I did not know this until it happened to me, that once the money is gone, it's hard to get the money back. It's becoming a tough challenge. So we're talking about February, first fraudulent charge for $12 something, and then 8 of them in March. 2 or 3 weeks later, again, same thing happened. We haven't got the money back. It's June now. We're still fighting this. So hopefully I may have a better story for you to tell you in the future recording, but at this time I don't have a good story. We did file the police report. We went and filed again the claim. This thing happened, and I started posting, and never had happened to me, and I started asking around some of my friends. One of my friends actually messaged me. She told me, say, hey, I went through the exact same thing you went through. I even filed the police report, and I never got my money back. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, if you use your debit card for most of your thing, just be aware. There's a lot of fraudulent things happening. It's better off to have a credit card for you to use in daily use. Maybe also there's a way you can block all the international transactions. That's where it came from. Really, security-wise, they do not secure that debit card like they do for a credit card, because I guess the credit card, if somebody spent $100, $1,000, the credit card are responsible. So that's why I'm not using the debit card anymore. And I told my kids, saying, hey, stop using debit card. If you have a credit card, use them. When you're underage, you still cannot have a credit card yet. I don't think so I can even sign her up for my own, have another credit card. One of my credit cards, give it to her till she turned 18. But till then, we'll have to figure this out. They did give her option when they went to the bank, give her option of having a card where she can put money from her account, and that can be used some sort of cash account, cash credit card account, so she can do the online purchasing. So this is an ongoing story, guys. I am not happy with this, and I tell you that I highly recommend that you also cut all the debit card or stop using as much as possible. It's a tough challenge once the money's gone. The hard-earned dollar. It was little money. If you look at hundreds of millions of billions of dollars, you talk about $200, $220, or $250 may not be a lot, but if that's all the money you got, that's just life saving. So my recommendation is, do not use debit card if you don't have other way to access, buy online. You have to use debit card. Find some ways, and make sure you lock your debit card as much as possible. This thing's happening more and more. Once they get hold of, just like they're getting hold of your bank account with the debit card, they get hold of your account. And it's scary how this got wiped out. When we were traveling last year, I was telling them, it's like, hey, don't use a debit card wherever you're traveling. Who knows what we're doing. So nothing happened till it happens. And then once it happened, it was really hard. So I am not pro debit card. I know a lot of financial gurus are pro debit card, but in our case, it is a tough challenge. And definitely, I would highly recommend you to look into it. Every time I tell a story, even when I went to get the police report, the lady at the station said, I didn't know I use my debit card a lot. So I told her, just be aware this happens, and this happens a lot. And this happened to us. And if it happened to you, please post and comment about it. But using the debit card is one of those scariest things, especially, if you have money, your bank account, and if it gets stolen, and they may wipe out all the money, and then it's hard to get the money back. And if I have a happy story, I'll bring it back, second part. But at this time, I do not have a happy story. One thing I will remind you again, the same bank, same situation, whenever there's a charge they find with the credit card, they will block your card. They will just, you don't have access to your card till you call them back. With debit card, they let it go. I'm not trying to scare you for using debit card, but again, I just want you to be aware, and I'm going through that. Thanks for listening. If you listened this far, please like and subscribe to this channel, and it helps the channel. And thanks for being out there. More later. Bye for now.